Hello, this is MotorZen, and Richie, that's on the other side of the camera, has told me that I have to say Happy New Year and all of that jazz, so I've done it, okay? In this week's show, we've got EV event taking place in the UK. NCTs will be back on target for May. Mercedes at the Consumer Electronics Show. Fiat and the Metaverse. Kia Sportage at 1 million kilometres. Dealer movements in Ireland. Andretti and GM in F1. Starting the year off now with the events, and there's an event starting on the 25th of January in the UK, a training event, kind of first of its kind. It's an EV event. It's specifically for the independent sector, specifically for EV. The people that are coming to this event, i.e. the contributors, Tom Denton, Ben Stockton from our virtual academy, Matt Cleveley, who runs a workshop in England, Peter Melville from HVRA. These people are invited. These people are going to speak and are going to present are strictly invited because they've got an in-depth electrical knowledge for this one-day event. It's taking place on the 25th of January and it's in Brighton Racecourse. Now again, that HEVRA, for anybody that's looking at electric and trying to get their head around it and trying to figure out how they go at it, it's really worthwhile looking at that, because that breaks down to Hybrid and Electrical Repair Alliance. So it's a grouping of people that are involved in repairing and servicing electric vehicles, and the information and support from that organisation is incredible. I spoke to some of those guys, I think this year, over at Automotive in Birmingham, and situations or problems that you might be occurring and know that can't be repaired or it's dealer only, they've got their own internal repairs and technical support on it. So there's a lot of help from those guys. So even if you don't get to the event, that HEVRA is really worth having a look at. But that event is the 25th of January in Brighton, at Brighton Racecourse. EV event, EV only. The big thing that's in the news for the trade in the last couple of weeks, NCTs, well, it's simple as far as the situation has been laid out now. They are recruiting. So, yeah, listening to people in the trade, we've been hearing this thing of non-qualified. I think they've tried this thing of non-qualified. I think they've tried, it's not working for them. I think they've tried bringing people from Spain. It's not working for them. I think they're actually now really actively trying to get people from within the trade, which is probably a great difficulty to do that because there's so few people available in the trade. But what they're saying is they tested 25,000 vehicles in October, November. In December, they tested 35,000 vehicles. So they're constantly increasing the number of vehicles they're testing per month because they're constantly increasing the number of testers. And what the statement that's been made now is to say that they will be back to the 12-day average, which is the target goal for May. So that remains to be seen. It's not that long to wait and see, but we do know that in certain situations, it's your date is heading into 6 months, which is ridiculous and really affecting the trade and affecting the volumes of work in the trade. CES is currently on in Las Vegas, Consumer Electronics Show. And again, we're a year going now, and this time last year, there was loads of stories coming out of this about cars. And again this year, that's the situation. We're going to have a couple of more stories next week and the week after from the Commercial Electronics Show, CES in Las Vegas. And it's a tech show, but so much of the stuff that's getting debuted now around the world gets debuted at this show. So Mercedes are one that are launching their global high-power charging network. So really what Mercedes are doing is they're kind of doing a Tesla. They're opening, what they're saying is 10,000 charge points by the end of the decade around the world. They're starting off in America. They say they're going to have 2,500 charge points at 400 hubs by 2027. And they're then rolling it out across the rest of the world. So the total number they'll have, they're saying, is 10,000. And again, if you look at the average consumer or the person that's kind of a little bit anti-electric vehicle, they keep, especially in Ireland, they keep saying it's never going to work because you don't have the charge points. I think over the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to see a transformation in charge points. I think you're right. I think the charge situation right now is appalling in Ireland. But I think it's going to change very, very fast. And with initiatives like this, whereby it's not depending on the state or depending on the local infrastructure alone, the company like a brand like Mercedes are coming in and saying, right, we are rolling it out. Because if you look at Tesla's network around Ireland, it's so good and it's there a long time. So it can be done. And I think these car manufacturers realise this is a sticking point and they're going to fix it. By the way, Mercedes, they're not saying that this is only for Mercedes. It is for other brands as well. But the Mercedes customer gets preferential service. They can pre-book online. There's a lot of other extras that are available there to the Mercedes customer. But no, it's open to all vehicles. Also at the CES show, the EQXX concept was shown at the show. We featured it earlier in the year. It's Mercedes' top technology electric vehicle. Will do 745 miles on one charge. So again, from all manufacturers, we're seeing the distances they can go on one charge now, getting to the point where there's no longer going to be the range anxiety that's been around. So again, in this electric area, the changes are rapid. The issues that are issues are no longer issues, and they're changing at such a fast pace. Fiat in Italy have launched the Metaverse store. So again, another story around where the future of the dealership goes. And again, the idea that we're seeing where the manufacturers are signing new contracts with existing dealers, and in that small print is where you as the dealer accept that we as the manufacturer can sell directly to the customer. This is what's in the contract now when they've been renewed with so many. We've done it with Mercedes, we've seen it with BMW, we've seen it with Stellantis. So you kind of think, that's not going to work. People are always going to want to go to the dealership. But then you think, no, they're thinking long term here. And when you look at this concept coming from Fiat, the Metaverse store, you can research, configure and order your vehicle online in a virtual experience. You will speak with a human being. They will be a product ambassador, not a salesperson. They're all very careful now to describe these people as not being sales, that they're simply people who describe to you and help you with choosing your product. And then you will be able to order that car online. So you can see that the manufacturers, and again, Fiat being Stellantis, where last month all these new contracts were coming out with the dealers saying sign that there, and now we can sell direct to the customer. So Stellantis, Fiat are rolling this out where it's becoming much more sophisticated as to how you order your car online as opposed to just go and click. So this experience, now the interesting thing about this technology, we don't really have much information about it, is that you can do this without requiring virtual headsets. So it's giving you a virtual experience without virtual headsets. Not sure how they're doing that. They're starting this in Italy in the middle of the year. It's only going to be available to the 500, to the Fiat 500, and then they're going to roll it out to the rest of the range. But another example of where the dealer purchase experience is going. Ben O'Connor is the sales manager for New Holland Tractors with Coleman's of Mill Street in County Cork. He got a new company vehicle in 2007. It was a Kia Sportage. They didn't give him a new company vehicle since. And he's done 1 million kilometres in that Sportage. So it looks like Ben was in some kind of an experiment from 2007, because normally people get their company vehicle replaced every 3 or 4 years. So when I read this first, I thought Ben mustn't be selling enough New Hollands, but I think he just enjoyed the experiment that he's after completing, which is after doing 1 million kilometres in this Sportage original engine, no major work, got a clutch, got 2 batteries, 1 starter motor, serviced as per in their own workshop, well, as per manufacturer's specifications every 15,000 kilometres, got a time about 150,000 kilometres, has turned the 1 million, but the clock has stopped at 999,999 kilometres. amazing achievement on this vehicle, and what a promotional product for Coleman's, what a promotional product for Ben, who looks after the vehicle so well, what a promotional product for Coleman's workshop, what a promotional product for Kia to have this vehicle in their fleet effectively. So any customer that would be concerned about the durability or reliability of Kia, and they're nervous about maybe buying one, if they go to Coleman's on Wynn Street, they just have to have a look at Ben's Sportage to know that they're buying a fairly reliable vehicle. Dealer movements, dealer changes in Ireland, a lot of activity in the last couple of weeks. Connolly's, who are the big motor group in the west of Ireland, predominantly linked with Volkswagen Audi Group, are taking on Volvo in Galway. They're opening a new Volvo showroom in Galway this month. Ford Motors in Dublin are taking on Fiat and Jeep. They've been motor vehicle dealers since 1959. La Hart's in Kilkenny are taking over Ryan Motor Power in Clonmel. That's a Skoda dealership. La Hart's have been Skoda dealers since 2006. They've been Volkswagen dealers since 1982. So a long tradition and a long relationship there. So they're opening the Skoda facility now under the Hart brand in Clonmel. Stertle Coney Group have bought out Beisbart in garage equipment. Beisbart was a very strong German brand for many, many years, kind of exclusive to BMW, Mercedes and Volkswagen. Bought out recently by the Stertle Coney Group, who also back in February 22 bought out Newspan, which is another really strong German brand in lifts. It's very difficult to keep up with what's going on in garage equipment. There's so many companies buying out other companies. You really have to check yourself as who owns what brand now, because they're all getting consumed into 2 or 3 big organizations. Again, in our last show at the end of 2022, we spoke about the influx of manufacturers coming into F1. We spoke about Audi, we spoke about Porsche, we spoke about Ford. GM are the next name that's in the pot. GM are partnering with Andretti. Mario Andretti would have raced F1 back in the 70s and 80s. The name is probably much, much more associated with American motorsport, really legendary in American motorsport. They compete in 7 different top-tier series in America. The last time they paired up with GM was in 2012, where they were involved under the Chevrolet brand. Now, under this relationship, it'll be Cadillac. So it'll be GM Cadillac brand with Andretti Racing. In 2012, they won over 2 seasons, they won 9 races. And in 2012, they won the driver, the team and the manufacturer awards in the 2012 season. So the last time they worked with GM, they were very successful. There's a lot of politics going on at the moment. A lot of stuff you'd say, right, grand, brilliant. It's good to see GM coming into F1. It's good to see Andretti, such a legendary name, come into F1. But there's a lot of politics going on now with other teams protesting and saying that they shouldn't be allowed in. I don't fully get it. I don't fully get this. Partly it's to do with the fact that it's going to dilute the budget in terms of the breakup of the money will be divided by more teams now. I think that's some of the concern, but really it has to be good for the sport, and probably again highlights the fact that especially when they're going with the Cadillac brand, really highlights the fact that F1 is becoming very successful in America, because that Cadillac brand has no exposure in the European market anymore as far as I know. So really GM are coming in to promote their products in the American market, which must signify great strength and improvements for F1 right now and into the future in America. That's this week's show. Thanks for watching, and if you could, we're starting to get a few comments and we'd like to get some communication going there, and maybe a subject that we might get some feedback on relative to the Irish market is the NCT situation. So if you want to make some comments, the press release has come out from NCT to say they're going to be back on track for May. Give us your views, your opinions on that there. Maybe you want to make a few comments on it, and we'll try and get some kind of a communication go. That's it for this week. Talk to you next week.